Testing, testing. Oh. Guess not yet. Right. Ah, can you hear me? Everyone can hear me? I can't tell. If anyone can hear me, type in the chat. I unmuted my microphone. Can you hear me now? Oh, fuck. Oh, I see. So I guess I have to double. I'm gonna have to listen to myself twice. Let me try this again, muting myself, because I'm gonna have to listen to myself saying everything twice if I don't. All right, I'm gonna mute myself. All right, I'm going to be driven crazy now. You probably can hear me now, right? But basically everything I say, I have to listen to myself 2 minutes later saying the same thing. Yeah, I do actually. Is that necessary, or can I just skip that? If Golden, if you know, oh, I'm going crazy already. Oh, the YouTube window. Ah, right. As in, just set it to mute. Okay, so everyone can hear me now, yeah? I just muted the YouTube window. Testing. Hello. Okay, good. Never done this before. Yeah, so I see. All right, fair enough. Uh, yeah, so I just thought I'd just do this completely informally. It's more a test than anything else. Of course, Teal Deer had done something like this a couple of months ago or weeks ago, and it wasn't particularly formal or. Hold on, let's stop. Let's before we get the. Yeah, I did. I did. There's the delay. But you can hear me now. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't. All right. I don't know how. I can't hear myself, obviously, so I don't know how optimal this is. All right, and there seems to be a delay, so I assume that everything I'm saying now is sort of arriving 2 minutes later. Let's just get everything. I guess the sound is fine. Then okay. Then I'll just favorite cartoon. Mm, Visionaries. I still remember the tune song. Fight for the magical light. You know, they receive these totems uh, and yeah, they can transform into animals. Yeah, probably heard about that. Weren't around too long though. Oh, right. So there is basically a 2 minute delay. So that's the answer to your question, the visionaries. Oh, is YouTube always like this? I mean, the live streams with the delays. A long time ago. No, I didn't watch. I watched some of it, not too much. Not really. Um, Actually, Nico could help me. Yeah, I know, but it's not. That kind of sucks. Well, anyway, we'll just live with the delay. I'll have to live with the delay. But uh I'll just type in the chat, I guess. Hold on. Fallout, yeah, it wasn't bad, but I think Fallout New Vegas kind of lacked the typical Fallout, yeah, the Fallout flavor, and I think that's going to be recaptured with Fallout 4. Why did I change my name? Because I had to change channels. Yeah. Oh, man. Country of origin, the United States of New York City. Yeah. Wait, can delay. Nico, why don't you know what? You can help me, Nico. You can help me. How are you, man? Nico, get on Skype. if you can. I don't even have a camera, so even if I wanted to, I couldn't. You're not the technical guy from Honey Badger Radio. No. There we go. If I don't think I would really care. Fair enough. I don't think I'd really care about the nationality very much. How old am I? Around 40. Yeah, I don't know if I'll be using this live hangout thing. It doesn't seem to be particularly cool. Too much delay. Yeah, no worries. My camera is on? No, not really. Camera is off as far as I know. Yeah. Ooh, okay. Well, a lot of questions. Oh God, you. Right. So I'm going to handle the Fallout question because it's kind of most on my mind. So yeah, I saw the trailer today, the launch trailer. It looks really good. Obviously, some things were revealed on that. And okay, so what do I think about? First, the question was, what did I think about Fallout Nevada or Las New Vegas? I thought it was pretty good, but it wasn't too true to the original sort of Fallout genre. I thought, it wasn't post-apocalyptic enough. Um, Fallout 4, yeah, I'm looking forward to it, obviously. And yeah, all right. And the launch trailer looks good. My issue really at the moment is, thinking of a build is kind of difficult because I don't know what the game's going to be like and limited point distribution and all that. So it's going to take a while, I think. But yeah, I think it looks pretty good from what I've seen. So I'm not gonna, yeah, not much else to say. I mean, I think I kind of know I think I kind of know what the plot's going to be about. It's going to be about fighting synths, these kind of half robot, half human guys, as it was intimated in Fallout 3, the Commonwealth and what have you. So yeah. Yeah, and like I said, I anticipating the perks and stuff. I just don't know. I can't really figure out a good build. Before Bioware became SJW Heaven. So the question is, what's your opinion of the Bioware games before it became SJW Haven rather? Good question. I used to love Bioware games. They probably were some of my favorite games. Games like Neverwinter Nights, particularly Mask of the Betrayer. Neverwinter Nights, Mask of the Betrayer was really good. And Baldur's Gate, classic stuff. Played it a couple of weeks ago again, the enhanced edition. Bioware. And yeah, I mean, they used to put it this way. I think of AAA companies, they were probably the best the best sort of story role-playing AAA company out there. Of course, I wouldn't say they were co-opted, but basically my own theory, and I can't support this with, actual evidence beyond what I've seen happen over the last couple of years with Bioware, has been, look, the female market, is basically kind of untapped in a way, because let's face it, most gaming is pretty much male, right? So if you get something like, oh, we can appeal to female customers by making lots of cheesy romances and kind of story irrelevant things, that's going to rope a lot of women in. Most women aren't interested in the combat specifics. I mean, for example, the fact that the combat was total shit in Dragon Age Inquisition didn't bother most people. And yeah, so I used to love Bioware, but they've kind of gone down the tube. As far as kind of story-oriented role-playing games go, I'm going to stick with CD Projekt Red, and as far as sandboxes are concerned, I mean, really looking for Fallout. And I should be getting my new rig later this coming week, so I'm probably going to be revisiting Skyrim, but with, maxed out graphics and a lot of new mods, and yeah, so we'll see. Lots of questions. I guess that's enough for the gaming, the Fallout, and unless you have more gaming questions. I'm going to scroll up, to be honest, I can't. Let's see. A lot of questions. Witcher 3. Let me finish it up with Witcher 3. That is the gaming related stuff. Witcher 3, I really liked it. I never finished it, and one of the reasons why is because as of this moment, I'm still on my laptop, and yeah, well, I just couldn't run it on maximum settings. The fucking FPS drop was annoying, and yeah, that's kind of why I stopped. But with the new computer coming, hopefully I will be resuming at some point in time. Maybe I'll even do an LP on my gaming channel, though LPs are kind of a pain in the ass, and there's not much. I mean, it's just a lot of work for very little return usually. Well, let me answer this question by John Doe. It seems like things that are not intellectual don't interest you. Well, that's not true. I've actually never said. I never said, "Oh, guys, I only like intellectual things." That's hardly true. I mean, I like intellectual things, and I like gaming that's not intellectual, and yeah, so that's not true. I mean, furthermore, I think a lot of that can be divided into just a frivolous and non-frivolous, but even that's a matter of interpretation. I mean, a lot of people could say what I like is frivolous, other people not so much. I don't think making videos in German would be the best idea. I thought about making a German channel, but I don't know. There's limited time, even with a relative amount of time that I have, and it's a decent amount of free time. But end of the year, next year, I'm starting kind of a new business project, and so yeah, at the moment, yeah, it's probably not something I'm taking into account. So, and so that's a lot of gaming stuff. Favorite books. Well, Wheel of Time. I used to, before Robert Jordan died. I didn't really finish that. Wheel of Time, Game of Thrones. Yeah, I guess I should say the cheesy. Yeah, I was reading the books before there was ever on television. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much. And to be honest, I don't read nearly as much as I should or I used to. A lot of it has to do with the internet. Well, why don't I come back to America? I don't really like living in the United States. I guess I could expand on this if people really want to know. I've been asked this question a lot. First off, I'm not really from the United States. I'm uh, I'm from New York City. I don't really consider New York City really part of the United States. It's just very different. I mean, it has almost nothing to do with most states and the mentality there. But it is nominally part of the United States, so it's too expensive. That's the most practical reason. I get by on relatively yeah, right, very little money. Um, and I couldn't do that in New York City. What I'm doing now, I couldn't do in New York City. And I just prefer Europe. I've lived in Europe most of my adult life, and yeah, it's just I like the mentality more. I like the architecture more. I like little things. Things tend to be more laid back. So yeah, it's just I'm just not a huge fan of the American mentality and the way things go down there. I have to say, overall, even I always felt more out of place growing up there than I do as an adult and living in Europe. So it just doesn't, just not really my thing. That said, there's a lot of great nature and um, some nice restaurants and so on and so forth. So yeah, it just doesn't really interest me. Yeah, East Coast. I mean, the East Coast, Northeast. If I had to go back, I probably would live someplace in the Northeast. I really couldn't imagine living any place other than the Northeast, and that's my bias. I certainly would never live on the West Coast, the Midwest. I mean, some of it's just practical, but other reasons are, I just prefer, I guess, the age of the Northeast, and it's just a different mentality. Here's the thing about the immigrant crisis, and I think it's kind of funny, is that I have, of course, made commentary on it, and I certainly have my opinions and views, but by and large, I'm unaffected by it. I mean, I haven't. Well, actually, that's not true. I've seen immigrants and foreign beggars on the streets well before the official crisis, but it doesn't. I'm going to address that. Hold on, one thing at a time. Yes, American Psycho. I don't really see a whole lot of the direct immigrant issue, and it doesn't really affect me. You know, I think long term, it doesn't bode well for Europe, but yeah. A lot of people don't realize that R and K selection theory is not current. That kind of got overhauled in the 90s. I don't know. People still use it because it kind of fits their ideology, but nobody, as far as I know, the science doesn't use it anymore. I think it's been replaced by a more efficient and sort of elegant system. Yeah, I agree with Patrick Bateman. But yeah, so that's yeah. I mean, every as far as countries are concerned, every I've been to a lot of countries. I've lived in a lot of countries. I'm not particularly Cyrus. I'm not particularly motivated to watch True Detectives, really. But maybe at some point in time. Every place has its positives and its negatives. I've lived in 8, 9 different countries, something like that, and You know, everything's some places are good for one thing, other places aren't good for other things. Oh, I have no intention of learning Russian, and I have other language projects that I'd be more interested in, to be honest. Yeah, thanks for repeating the question. UK, I love the weather. It's my favorite thing about the UK. I like the cool, cloudy, not so sunny weather. Um, no, I don't accept any welfare, and I work on my own, so yeah, whatever. You know, Kate Griffin, I wish for just once in your life you could be serious instead of your constant fucking smart aleck bullshit, but hey, you know, I guess I'm stuck with you here. So unfortunately that's in Canada. I wouldn't have legal permission to I wouldn't have legal permission to move to Canada. But I've been to British Columbia and un poco, no? Posso parlare, però solamente un poco. Um, Whale watching, that's what I did there. My favorite animals are actually orcas. Maybe you've seen me like videos like that. So yeah, been there for whale watching. Am I a parent? Yeah, that's a funny one. Trying to go back to look at some of the older questions. There's so many. I can't copy and paste all of them. All right. No, I mean, look, I've been to Seattle and Portland and the West Coast, but I just don't like the West Coast really. Yeah. Good question, buddy and hopeful. Is there a difference between the American European cultural mentality and the reason? Well, okay. I wouldn't quite say that. Definitely, there's a difference between uh, American and European perceptions and stuff. Here's the thing. The reason why I'm not a capital L libertarian anymore, and not even really a libertarian, is just I realize I don't think that there's a one shoe size fits all thing for everyone. And so I just, you know, I think there are definitely some things that there's evidence we could argue. So, for example, relatively limited government with relatively free markets. I mean, not absolutely do whatever the fuck you want. This seems to be probably the most effective thing, but I still don't agree. You know, I'm European too, but I don't agree. I'm much more libertarian than I am, say, the conventional left wing politics you'd encounter with most Europeans. So I don't, you know, I'm kind of in between. You know, I feel the same. I don't feel completely European. I don't feel completely American. I just don't really feel like anything. I think you could say the same is true of my politics. They're neither left nor right. Don't really feel identified with anything specifically. So yeah. Um, Well, I don't spend Henry CK. I don't spend a lot of time on thinking about the past, and that's just because it's done. There's nothing you can do about it. But yeah, I would have done things differently if I could go back in time 15, 20 years. Um, One thing I like doing is narration and voiceover, only, even though I've only done a bit of it. So if I could go back in time, I probably would try to have gotten into voice acting or what have you. And that would have been really interesting. But yeah, that said, I mean, this is something that I've encountered with a lot of my subs. I don't tell people what to do. I don't prescribe. I wouldn't give recommendations. I mean, I stumbled into things I've ended up doing and, you know, they're okay. I don't love them. I definitely wouldn't tell people what to do. In fact, I had one sub unsubscribe from me, get angry, because he'd send me messages all the time asking me basically what to do with his life in general, and specifically, some girl he was seeing. I don't know. That's his life. I'm not in this situation. And I think a lot of men, that's true. It's not a good idea to marry, but I can't beat people over the head and say, don't marry, don't marry. I'm going to beat you over the head if you don't. But that's pretty much it. I say it's not a good idea to get married, but if you really want to get married, do it. I can't fucking stop you. And no, so. The question, Ping PNQ 8787, Stardust, your theories of evolutionary psychology and how that applies to society and relationships form a unified whole. We need to, at some point in time, I'd like to get together, but that's not that's not in the works anytime soon. Barbarossa's still working on his book, and maybe at some point in time, I'd like to do that before I'm dead. I used to, but I think my approach to human relationships in general is one that is pretty detached. So whilst I like a lot of people, I don't really get them overly attached. So I mean, I'm not even sure what that means, close friends. It's certainly not a conventional thing that I would attribute my behavior to and my interactions. But I have a bunch of friends that I like, but I'm not sure what close friend means, I mean, and I apply this just across the board, women, men, whatever. If I like someone and I get along with someone, that's great. And but I'm also willing, it's like a switch, okay, someone pulls some bullshit, I just turn the switch off and that's it, and I just move on. I don't, Eric Sheila. I don't really have a lot of conversations in real life with people about this kind of stuff. Just because there's just not a lot of crossover. When I do have conversations with people, it tends to be pretty, pretty banal everyday stuff. And I mean, I'll give you an example. So a couple of weeks ago, I had to get new furniture, so I went to IKEA, and my friend helped me with the van and everything and whatever. So I bought him dinner, as is custom. We're just talking. It was just totally bland, A couple of months back, I had helped him move in with a pseudo wife, basically long-term girlfriend. Might as well be married by now, whatever. I never told him not to do it, even though that's what I thought. And I just talk about whatever. We both have a kind of philological, linguistic background. Talk about that. Talk about the immigration crisis. We don't really talk about, lifestyle or what have you. So, yeah. Yeah, but as I mentioned in the video about IKEA, it's kind of funny, is that, I went there on a Tuesday, and so according to him, on Saturday, it was just Saturday just ridiculous, and it was crowded enough, so I was happy about that. I actually briefly have a video plan down the pipeline in the future on antiquity and gender relations and basically metaphor. So that is planned. Yeah. No, 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 no. I don't play on console, and I never. Well, the last console I had was an 87 or 89. I don't remember. And yeah, that's kind of last time I played on console. So yeah. What do I think about race realists? I think I think that there are ethnic and racial differences between people. There's a lot of evidence to suggest that. I just started reading a book about it by a well-recognized author. I don't agree with all of their conclusions, but here's the thing: to say we're all the same when I mean we know, for example, I mean one thing that's universally acknowledged is in say sports and events and athleticism. We know, for example, West Africans tend to dominate. And I've talked about this before. Explosive power events, sprinting, and so on, and that has a lot to do with the so-called speed gene, ACTNP, I believe, off the top of my head. So yeah, I mean, I'm kind of somewhere in between on that issue. I don't agree with all these SJWs that we're all identical, and I don't. Whilst I think there are definitely differences between people, I think race realists draw false conclusions from it. So let me go back here and look at some of these questions. Mm, yeah. Well, yes and no. I mean, genes are everything. Genes are super important, and you can't really have a discussion about human beings without them. But obviously, there's some environmental influence on this stuff too. I mean, once again, the nurture nature thing is a false dichotomy. It's a feedback loop. But yeah, we're stuck basically at this point in time, stuck with our genes. So I understand, by the way, the appeal of consoles. I really do. It's convenient. You sit yourself on the couch and you can just play. But I spent the better part of a year and a half plus saving up for a super PC, which should be arriving really soon. And I'm really looking forward to that level of gaming experience, which I had never experienced before. So yeah. I mean, console wars and aside, I get it. I'm not really hostile towards consoles and console players, but yeah, I just would always go for PC. That's it. I don't take any supplements for fatigue, energy, or cognition, so yeah, I'm always fatigued, so I'm always tired. Well, as far as games are concerned, I should just point out I don't play a shit ton of fucking games. There are a few games that interest me a great deal, and I notice a lot of, let's say, my friends on my Steam list or whatever, they tend to go through a lot of games. I do take my magnesium when I can. Um, I mean, but that's mostly for cramps. That's why I take it. Games, I tend to stick with a handful. Like I'm really looking forward to Fallout 4, replaying Skyrim with the super buff graphics. Probably Witcher 3. Division's coming out next year. It's Ubisoft, so who fucking knows? Deus Ex Humanity Divided. So that's not even that many games, but they'll preoccupy me for a while. No, no, I didn't. I didn't buy the PC just for that. I bought it just for an overall enhanced experience. More to the point, I'll be able to render videos much more quickly. It was a long-term investment in PC gaming, basically. Yeah, guys, I do want to actually knock out some videos before I think the end of this coming week because I suspect I might be MIA for about a week due to Fallout. So you might be able to expect that. I do need to get in contact with a High Lord of Biochemistry. That's for sure. Lots I do watch porn, but usually just once in the morning, knock it out, and get on with my life. Yeah, Macs are not that good for gaming. I just said, dude, I just said I got the PC for a lot more than Fallout 4. It's just for an overall enhanced gaming experience that's going to last me at least 2 years. So yeah, I'll send it. Can you send links in the here? This is pretty cool. If guys, if you're interested in Fallout 4, I'm gonna see if this link works. Hold on. Hey, guys, check out that link. You can actually kind of plot your characters. You can check out all the perks. Um, so yeah, hard to plan a character out because we don't know what to expect exactly. But I'm just kind of random. But at the moment, I'm definitely gonna be playing a female in the beginning because the character model looks good, and I just usually play females in the first couple of games. And I'm thinking about playing a meleeing, cannibalistic, endurance, water breathing, crazy person, basically. Um, I think part of it's eye candy. If you haven't watched the Fallout launch trailer, I think it was pretty good. But it probably is just appreciate looking at the female more. I don't know. I never really thought about it. It's just, and I don't just play females. I play both, like 50-50. But usually I start with a female. So yeah, that's why. Why? I didn't really give. I don't know why. I just think I don't. Maybe that's me being an egalitarian. 50-50. In this case, they're different voice actors. So it's gonna be interesting to hear both. I'm definitely going to start with a female, and maybe the second playthrough I'll do. I don't think NoFap's particularly healthy. For example, ejaculation is good for keeping your prostate health. So there's no reason why to engage in NoFap. Nope, have not been to McDonald's. I have read German philosophers in the past. But Schopenhauer, I've been thinking for a while of doing something on his essay on, a long time ago. I don't do any drugs anymore. 174 centimeters. I don't do any drugs anymore, but certainly when I was younger, I tried out a bunch of different things. I think people are already getting skeptical of the whole false rape accusation thing. So I think it's a matter of time. I mean, it depends on how ultimately the false rape thing. We had the story way back in Duke, and then Virginia. And think about it this way: if there are more major false rape accusation stories, then I guess it's just going to get more publicity, and people are going to get a lot more circumspect about everything. So I don't still follow linguistics, not really. No, I've never prayed. Now, even in Europe, it was a couple of years ago in Germany, there was a major newscaster. I think he was a meteorologist. He was accused of, I just told you I'm 174 centimeters. I'm not going to repeat that again. And he was accused, he was finally, it's funny, he was finally freed from guilt because they were able to prove a bunch of things. He was able to sue the company that got rid of him. They got something like 600,000 euros. I can only answer a certain amount of questions. So maybe you should learn the metric system. It might be useful. Another reason I don't like living in the United States. Well, on the gaming end, I like Gopher's vids a lot. He's very blue pill, but he makes really helpful tutorials and stuff. And no, I'm not 5'8.5". I'm 5'8.5" and half an inch, to be specific. Um, but I like, yeah, Gopher is really good. If you don't know his channel, he makes really helpful videos about tutorials. He does lots of Let's Plays as well, and what have you. I mean, Teal Deer really isn't MGTOW, but I like a lot of his vids. Well, I'm trying to think of someone I regularly visit on YouTube. Can't say there's someone really. Well, the important thing about you, Stormy Ascent, is I don't know if that's true, but you got the 15 cases, man. That's the only thing that matters. Lots of questions. Well, effectively, oh, Stefan. Stefan's weird, he's done some interesting talks recently, and I gotta get to those 5 RPGs. But he also just goes way off board, and I just think, what are you talking about, man? I made a video about that, at least with regards to one thing. 5 top RPGs. Well, this is all my opinion, obviously, but I like. Well, Skyrim is one of my favorite ones. Fallout 3, Baldur's Gate, Dragon Age Origins. Uh, I guess is Deus Ex. Yeah, Deus Ex is an RPG, I guess. And I guess it's 5, right? I think Bethesda probably is my favorite gaming franchise, followed by CD Projekt Red. I'd like to say I like Ubisoft, but they're just so fucking hit or miss, and they're fucking unreliable. I mean, I'll give you an example, a current example. So one Ubisoft game I play is Ghost Recon Phantoms, which is a PvP shooter. They've gone dark now for about a month. They haven't. I mean, if they're going to end the game, end the game. But they don't even have the fucking professionalism to say, "Oh, we're stopping service and customer support." Blah blah. They just disappeared. So no, I would not date Karen Strawn ever. Oh, Torment. I forgot. Yeah, of course I played Torment. Great game. Oh, there's Mass Effect 2. Yeah, there are a lot of games I liked. Yeah. So I don't have a Twitch account. I will. I am considering in the future once I get my new rig of live streaming YouTube on my gaming channel for games and stuff. No, I don't think she's attractive. Nice eyes though. That's about it. but she does have a nice ass. Miranda Lawson from Mass Effect 2 has a nice one. My hobbies before gaming, let's see. I used to do a lot of art, which I stopped. We just talked about PC gamer. And well, did a lot of art back in the day, and sort of creative writing, that sort of thing. So, yeah. Well, actually, Harvey, man, a lot of fucking SJWs got upset about that scene. So, well, Final Fantasy is a console game, so I wouldn't be playing that. At the moment, I'm taking a break from fitness because I was pretty ill and I kind of fell off the bandwagon. So I'm just kind of relaxing. To be honest, I'm a bit freaked out because of my dental neglect, and I'm kind of trying to self-reverse this fucking gingivitis that I've developed. So yeah, once I get my gingivitis under control, if it's possible, I'm planning going back. Uh, Look, I'm not categorically opposed to dating, but and let's be honest, why do people, why do men date? It's to get sex, and it requires interact. I mean, I guess I'm not particularly terribly interested in having normal conversations anymore. And the red pill is pretty final. Yeah, Eric, how long does it take? Here, I don't want to go on a tangent here, but I was kind of searching all over the internet. I've been so neglectful, it's my own fault, I admit, that the plaque develops in the tartar. It's going to have to be removed, but I won't see a dentist for until January. So I went to the pharmacy and I picked up basically the strongest thing you can get, which is chlorhexidine, antibacterial septum, antiseptum, and yeah, let's hope that. Well, I've always been lazy when it comes to flossing, but definitely something I need to just do. But I think now that I have tartar, it's not good. I can't get rid of it without that. But coconut oil and gingivitis, really? Have to look that one up. Cooking, yeah, when I can, when I should cook more often, but I'm lazy. Hmm. So just sort of wash your mouth out with coconut oil. I guess it's worth a shot. It's kind of hard to get, but hmm. The gingivitis is really disturbing because my gums feel sore and it just doesn't feel good. I mean, at this point in time, I'd say dating. I just can't really imagine it. Uh, I what would I possibly date for? I don't want anything long term, and I know a lot of MGTOW-minded guys still kind of get tingles from being around women, but to me, it's just I don't know. It's something that just annoys me more than anything else. So I just prefer to just knock it out, in the morning and just get on with my day. I didn't go to New York University. I got my master's from University of York and Imperial College in London. It's actually pretty good. I mean, it's the dental issue is completely my fault. I mean, sometimes only brushing once a day, never flossing. That was the biggest issue. I also have shitty genetics, you know. Gingivitis is a lot of genetics too. My gums are weak and my teeth are pretty close together. They're not spaced out well, and it's annoying. So it's really difficult to get the floss in there, even when I'm. So we'll see. It is disturbing. I'm worried that I won't be able to reverse it or at least prevent it because, like I said, I don't I'm not seeing the dentist till mid late January. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I know. But here's the thing. As I said, I got pretty sick, like a flu thing for about 2 weeks, and I fell off the bandwagon, I admit, and I was eating a lot of sugar, and I was also neglectful of my dental hygiene. So, other than Fallout 4, the game I'm anticipating the most probably would be Deus Ex: Humanity Divided. Yeah, I mean, it seems like they put a lot of work into Deus Ex. The next one, that is. If you haven't seen the trailer, I definitely would recommend you to watch it. I think choice is actually going to matter more play styles, etc. How satisfied am I with my lifestyle? Reasonably. I wish I had more money, and I'm working on that long term. Basically, my lifestyle is great, apart from the fact that I don't have enough money. So that's it. What do you want me to say about Sandman? I've said, I already said everything I have to say about Sandman. Everyone knows how I feel about it. If other people want to talk about him and deal with his speculation and accuracies, that's cool. I just don't care enough anymore. Yeah, Star Wars Battlefront. A lot of people talking about it. I don't fucking know. I'm not sure. I think Division's probably the next sort of co-op slash PvP shooter I might uh, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Super Nintendo. Easy to replace social programming with new life purpose meaning. Yeah, I think more or less. Let me tell you why. Because it's just easier not to do all the shit I used to have to do, like do a 9 to 5, get up, at 7:30 in the morning or whatever. Who wants to do that if it's avoidable, right? I read the Dune series a long time ago. It was good. I mean, very creative, obviously. Frank Herbert was very creative. Yeah, and I have some business plans in the future. We'll see if they work out. I'm hopeful that they will, but skeptical that they will as well. So we'll see. Look, I mean, everything I said before about sort of MGTOW is just personal autonomy. I mean, all the shit going out in the video I posted today, all the stuff I talked about, it you know, the irony rant on about feminism, they're the ones who care about, passing copies of genes and getting married or having quote unquote quality relationships, meaningful relationships with women. Like I said, the divorce court system could be 50 times worse than it is now. All of that shit could be worse, and I would be largely unaffected. Who's your preferred candidate for the 2016 U.S. election? Whichever candidate's least likely to start World War III. I'm not passionate about anything. It depends on how you define passion, but not like I used to be, not when I was young. I'm interested in things, but I'm not passionate. Uh, Bernie Sanders, I don't know. I stopped paying attention to the U.S. election eons ago. Eons ago. What's the point? No, I don't. I'm not nostalgic for any president. Although I did like the way Ronald Reagan delivered his speeches. He had that sort of B-grade actor Hollywood style, kind of like that. Whoa, whoa, whoa! What the hell happened here? Shit, 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 shit. Ah, man. Ah, fuck. What the hell? Sorry, can you still hear me? What the hell? I hit something, then I don't know what the hell happened. I don't recommend that people do anything really. The only thing I recommend is, don't get married. I've said this before. Um, and beyond that, do whatever you think is going to make you content. Uh, yeah. Biochemistry. I like nu nutrition, obviously. Um, yeah. As far as sciences, I like apart from those. I'll probably watch the Star Wars movie, but I mean, I'll watch it because maybe some nice special effects, but I'm not expecting too much. Ah, man. See, if I were an SJW, I could just block this Jimmy Fista guy, but uh, oh well. Oh, I am interested in economic theory. I'm just not an expert in it, but I am interested. I doubt it. Although, who knows? Oh yeah, drugs should be decriminalized. I think Portugal is a really great example of that. They used to have a lot of problems with drugs back in the day, and they decriminalized basically everything. And yeah, that was things have gotten a lot better. perfect, but better. I didn't watch too much WWF, no. Some. Nope, Germans are not more resilient to pussy whipping and wife nagging. I don't like Germany. It just kind of fell into the place. I don't dislike it. It is what it is. Oh, so uh, I wish I spoke Portuguese. It's one of the few Romance languages I like, but I don't really speak it. Can understand some and read it, but very interesting. The only Romance language to retain a synthetic pluperfect, but I won't go into that. I prefer the weather in the UK, but I think I prefer living in Germany. Well, if I had millions of dollars, good question. Maybe Copenhagen or Amsterdam. I'm not really sure. I actually don't. I know about the structure of a lot of Slavic languages, but it's a group I can't speak or don't know. It's a K, man. The weather guy, K, star dusk. Well, here's the thing about a lot of these so-called nationalist right movements. They're not even right. They're mostly socialists. They just happen to be nationalists. They're about redistribution and socialist policies for themselves rather. Monaco is way too hot for me. Maybe Edinburgh would be a place to live too. I don't know. Yeah, so is the Golden Dawn in Greece, who incidentally have a pretty cool symbol, but I mean they're as leftist as any fucking socialist group. Yeah, well, I mean the plan is to eventually get enough money together so I don't have to work at all and just pursue my hobbies. I do want to get a dog eventually. Yeah. No. Uh, if I were rich, I'm never going to be rich. I wouldn't stop making videos. I think they'd be less frequent, but I generally like making videos. Some I like making more than others, but nah, I wouldn't be Shibu Inu. I've actually never had a dog. Always wanted one. Couldn't have one when I was growing up. Basically Greyhound or Whippet probably because of the temperament. I like Sighthounds. Um, dog meat, no. Since I'll probably end up getting a Greyhound or a Whippet, I guess I'll call them Hermes or something. Kind of makes sense. No, nah. Like I said, definitely a Sighthound or, well, maybe a Welsh Corgi too. I'm not sure. That's a long. I might never get a dog either. It's a long time away, so we'll see. I don't even have the money really to get a dog at the moment, so hmm. No, I didn't. I actually missed the social justice train when I was at university. Well, maybe my last degree, I kind of picked up on it. But yeah, no, I think I think a lot of this extreme feminist stuff that we've this extreme feminist stuff we've been seeing that let's see, I went to undergraduate university in the mid 90s and late 90s, and my master's degrees were pretty delayed because I worked for a long time in between that, so late 2000s and whatever. But I think a lot of that stuff is pretty recent. The extremity of it all, that's pretty recent. You know, when I see, here's the thing. I want to make a video about this. I have a humanities background, but we didn't fucking do all the bullshit they do now. It was very rigorous. I studied ancient Greek and Latin, and you had to learn translation techniques and poetic meter, and it wasn't easy. I'm not saying it was like fucking quantum mechanics, but it was pretty rigorous, and people were urged to use critical thought and thinking about history and things. Systems turned to shit now, really has. It's gone down the tubes. I do plan on writing something for Shedding of the Ego eventually. We'll see. A lot of it depends on how certain business plans I have plan out the next half a year or so. Yeah. I had no idea, by the way, Golden. I didn't know you were Portuguese. It's cool. I like Portugal, by the way. It's always interesting to get an idea of all the nationalities that are represented. I don't think I have any South African subs. I'd like to talk to one, but you know, here's the thing about trolls like Jimmy Fista is that I, I, I I don't. None of us find it funny, but apparently he finds himself funny. I guess that's appealing. I'm not really sure. Oh, are you really? I had no idea. Cool. We should talk sometime so I can just listen to your accent because I love the South African. Are you Afrikaans, by the way, Christy? Are you an Anglophone? Ah, so well, you still have an answer. Are you Afrikaans or are you? Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, yeah. I find Hey, I'd be interested in talking to you privately. I find South African history pretty interesting. What's my favorite porn genre? I don't know. I don't really have one. Whatever fucking gets the job done. The difficulties about me in MGTOW. No, I didn't say Afrikaans is Anglophone. I asked, is Christy Afrikaans or is he an Anglophone? Well, I don't think people are interested in the boer. and the Boereoorlog, the war between the Gakis, right? That's what they were called, the Gakis. I don't think people care about that. But the Unfort, yeah, the Unfort is funny. I listen to them, but it's not because I like their music so much as I just like listening to Afrikaans. Yeah, I mean, I hear that a lot, Matchbox, that a lot of guys have issues with, essentially going their own way in their family. But whatever my parents' flaws, they're basically good people, and they've always kind of more or less left me to my own devices. My parents know about my views of marriage and whatever, and I'm not going to do that, and they're cool about that. Yeah, so yeah, I don't think MGTOW is ever going to get mainstream coverage. And here's the thing, and I've talked about that before. The kind of MGTOW stuff that's going to get mainstream coverage, right? That's not going to be fucking Stardust stuff. I'm almost certain it's going to be fucking, uh, well, frankly speaking, Sandman or whatever other mainstream stuff is out there, or the guys like fucking Messenger Rising and the angry dudes. It's not going to be my stuff. You know? And if it gets super mainstream and crazy, well, that point in time, I don't know. Maybe I won't even bother calling myself MGTOW. It's not really relevant in that sense. I think you have to understand, and people don't think about it. MGTOW. All that means is, is to going your own way, whatever that means to you as an individual. Beyond that, men who are going their own way can have lots in common or nothing in common. It's, dude, it's Saturday night, man. I have time. Don't worry about it. Uh, I think I'm gonna be autocratic here. This guy is just fucking annoying me. How do you block someone from the chat? How does that work? Get rid of that guy. Wait, wait. Block user. Yeah. Eh, I know it's censorship, but he was just being. I mean, I'm not censoring him because yeah, you know what I mean. It's just the guy's just fucking annoying. Anyway, it's back to more normal questions. Well, I can always use the excuse that you guys appreciated me blocking him more than I did. So plenty of religion has been studied from a secular point of view. I don't see why those particular religions need to be studied. Uh, but here's the thing, male feelings. Can you really submit to delusion? I mean, when I was much younger, I sometimes thought, well, wouldn't it be a good idea if I could, believe in something, right? But you either do or you don't. So you can't choose to submit to delusion. I mean, after you're taking the red pill, you think you could woo a woman, court her, try to get her to marry you. It's insane. I mean, you couldn't do that. Not psychologically, not mentally, not intellectually. Most intense drug I've ever done, ecstasy or cocaine. Yeah, as I was saying, you can't submit to a delusion. It's just you either are deluded or you're not. I don't dislike Sargon. I don't entirely trust him. I mean, now they're on the topic. You know, I don't think MGTOW is ever going to get a fair shake, really. I mean, at least the people are always going to focus on the people that are really extreme, and I'm extreme too, but in a different way. But oh, women suck, blah blah, that kind of thing. That's what people are going to focus on. So I think that's what Sargon wants to look at. Rather, I mean, like at the end of the day, Sargon's got his job. He's got to cover all the fucking SJW stuff and the feminist stuff, and it just doesn't. I don't think there's a lot of crossover. That's pretty much it. Yeah. Well, maybe I misinterpreted what Sargon said. I don't know. But if I did, whatever. I mean, the whole video response gave me the feeling that he just wasn't very interested in a kind of two-way conversation or what have you. So, um, you know, never beat The Witcher 3. Still waiting for my supercomputer so I can actually play it again. Yeah, I should have fucking. Well, I answered some of them, didn't I? PC, yeah. Oh man. Well, anyway, um, specs of the new PC. I got a whole list, and unfortunately, no, I didn't have it memorized. So I'm actually gonna have to look it all up again, the millionth time. But I can tell you off the top of my head, dual, basically 6 GB Sly 980 Ti's. Um, processor. Processor is an i7 6700 overclocked. SSD 1.2 terabytes. I got the Predator. This is all off the top of my head. Predator. Yeah. Predator. Acer Predator. 144 hertz. G-Synced. Intel. Logitech. Oh God, I'm in the keyboard. So the keyboard, the monitor arrived, but the actual computer hasn't. So, and the mouse that I'm actually using now is not now because I'm on my couch, but the Steel Series Rival Optic. Yeah, way too much money. I spent almost 2 years saving up for it all. Several thousand euros. Uh, Water cooling, yeah. And there's also, oh God, I forgot all the stuff. So, mm. Well, put it this way. All right, here's the deal with my PC history. I basically spent the better part of a decade playing on a gaming laptop. So about 2 years ago, I said, fuck it. Why don't I just start saving slowly but surely for a supercomputer just to experience what that's fucking like? What's it like playing on a supercomputer? And sometime by end of next week, I'll have that supercomputer. I mean, fucking G-Sync monitor, Sly 980s. I'll be able to run everything basically on max for almost 2 years, I think. Yeah. But that's the thing, right? Isn't that what MGTOW's about? I mean, a lot of people say, "Oh, you spent thousands of euros on a fucking computer. What a waste." But that's the whole thing. I spent a whole bunch of time saving up for it, and why the fuck not? I mean, it's what it's just one. I don't a bunch of thousands of euros. I mean, if you can here, it's generally considered the best the best monitor. It's the Acer Predator. I'll try to find a link if you're interested. This is pretty much the best gaming monitor on the market at the moment. Acer Predator. No, fuck, I can't find it. Whatever. It is pretty. Yeah, well, lucky you. I don't have my computer yet, and I'm not going to be getting it until Wednesday. So yeah, it's going to take me a little while to. I mean, here's the thing. People, getting back to expending money on shit. People spend money on all kinds of different things. Some people spend money on fucking cars. Some money, women spend shit tons of money on. It's 1,440 440. Um, I didn't get my IQ tested recently. Years ago, it was I think 134 or something, or 135 or 136. Yeah, no. Here's the thing, you spend money for whatever. I don't spend money on the other stuff, so why not just save up and buy a super PC? Yeah. I mean, there's just lots of there's certain games I like playing. A Skyrim I could never play with, say, with ENBs or in max graphical settings and so on. Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean that's long term, definitely. All right, this is the same guy. I'm gonna I'm gonna block him too. They're just gonna keep on coming, these trolls, but whatever. The GPU, as I said, it's Sly 980 Ti, 60 GB in NVIDIA. So do two graphics cards, 980 Ti's. Yep, that's exactly G. No, I don't want World War III. I mean, there are also practical things that are going to be beneficial having a PC like that. I mean, the rendering, for example, I can render with a GPU and it'll be super, super fast. So that's going to be beneficial, especially for some of the projects I have planned in the future. Yeah. So it's not just, yeah, gaming pleasure, sure, but it's also just I'll be able to just render things in a split second. Koreans? What? Who are the Koreans? Do you mean Koreans? Well, Ars Mortis, Art of Death. No, I shaved it off recently. The reason why is it's comfortable. I mean, I'm sitting on my couch now, lying down on my couch, and I'm talking to you guys. I can't do that with a desktop. I have not installed Windows 10, and I will not until I get my new computer. I'm not anti-conspiracy theory. I'm just pro-evidence. Oh, not familiar with that. Actually, man, here's the thing. James, I think I could tell you guys this. So, marathon playing probably won't start until Thursday or Friday or whatever, but maybe even next weekend. But since I'd fallen off the bandwagon for a while, what I'm planning is doing like a 5 to 6 day fast, and it's going to be easy to do that if I'm playing Fallout because I'll be distracted. So I'm not going to be eating probably when I'm playing Fallout for a while. The next system I'm going to get is going to have Windows 10 anyway, so regardless, I just got to accept that. But for now, I'm still on 8. Not that fucking 8's good, but no. I'm not really. No, it's not unhealthy at all. Anyway, um, I'm not really concerned about a declining population. I mean, if it happens, it happens. I mean, I'm not particularly. Well, that's what I'm using the Win 7 shell at the moment. Myers Briggs is bullshit. It's just fucking pseudo junk. Yeah, but I hate Kate Griffin's pretty much a troll, but there are other benefits to longer term fasting that goes well beyond 20 hours. Might make a video about that eventually. I don't really care about stuff like that anymore. I care about long term health benefits, not how much muscle mass I'm carrying. So, oh God, is this guy? I block fucking trolls who just keep on going over the same fucking shit over and over and over and over again. Ugh, by the gods. Exactly. Some people know about fasting and autophagy and some other things. No, they weren't drinking, man. The people who died were fucking dehydrated. I plan on drinking tons of water. As if I cared what women like. Um, I don't really like traveling as much as I used to when I was younger. I traveled all over the world pretty much, but I kind of like eh, home life more than the uh, the traveling life. At the moment, I'm using my shitty mic. It's just a headset, but otherwise, I tend to use the Rhodes Podcaster, which I might be replacing soon. When I was younger, I was just much more motivated to travel. I mean, I think I was 23 or 24. I read Goethe, the famous German author Goethe. He had this book called Die Italienische Reise, the Italian trip or the Italian journey or whatever, or visit to Italy. You know, and I literally traveled to all the places in Italy that he talked about in the book in some sort of romantic attempt to reconstruct his journey. I mean, that's the kind of shit I would just never do anymore. But when I was 23 or 24, it kind of made sense. Why not? Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. These trolls are just incredible. Uh, I'm not a survivalist myself, but I definitely respect people who do it. You know, why not, if that's what they want. Ja, ich habe die Leiden des jungen Werther gelesen, aber es ist sehr lange her. Yeah, I agree with Black Gnostic. When I was younger, also, my sleeping problems got worse over time as I got older. And for example, there's still one place I'd like to visit I haven't, Mongolia, but I figured I have to like rough it in a fucking tent or something on the tundra plains, or I don't know. I don't know if I could do that necessarily. Yeah, yeah. I think, okay, next time if I do this again, who knows, I'll probably have sort of pre-submitted questions and just try to field them that way. I don't know, or I'm not really sure. I missed that question. Does someone say I'm anti-gun? I have a very sort of specific, somewhat unique opinion on guns, which I've already expressed in the video. Anyone's interested in watching it, go watch The Context of the Gun, which is pretty much my view on guns. I mean, I think Sargon. I'm sorry, Thunderfoot is. He's. I mean, yeah, he's part of the atheist community, but it's mostly. And let's be frank, it's mostly anti-feminist SJW stuff these days. And he's fine, you know. Eons and eons ago, I shot a gun when I was a kid in the '80s, but that was just once or twice. Why would a low libido affect my self-esteem? I mean, I know people whose libido is so powerful they have to fuck and it controls them, or they masturbate 5 to 6 times a day. Not absolutely not. I'm happy that I don't have to fucking spank off constantly. Um, well, if I went to Mongolia, I would just be visiting, you know. Well, part of it's age, obviously. I'm pretty much 40 more, give or take. So, all right, I'll block him again, only to have the next fucking troll come on. Uh, I guess blocking trolls is kind of like feeding them, I guess, in some way. I would agree. I mean, those guys are largely politically correct. You know, like it or not, I think a lot of these guys are afraid to ask the hard questions. Now, I don't think that's true of Teal Deer. I think Teal Deer is willing to go where the evidence is, more or less. So mostly ex-hamster. Not ever served in the army. Ay, 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 ay. Favorite foods. Yeah. Oh yeah, I guess a lot of things are blocked in Germany, right? Fucking GEMA. I've already banned him a million times. Aggrieved Texan. He just comes back. So, um, do I support single payer healthcare system? I don't live in the States, so I don't really have a view on that. Das Niveau hat schon, naja, ich will mal sagen, so nach den ersten 10 Minuten hat das Niveau deutlich abgenommen. Aber ist halt so. Of course I pre-ordered. I know you shouldn't do pre-ordering and stuff like that. And but I did pre-order because I knew I was going to play it a lot. So in Germany, there's this thing called GEMA, and I don't even fucking remember what it stands for, other than it's really annoying. Let me have a look here in Wikipedia. GEMA basically, practically speaking, just blocks things that you want to watch. Yeah. Stands so GEMA stands for Gesellschaft für musikalische Aufführungs- und mechanische Vervielfältigungsrechte, which in English means Society for Musical Performing and Mechanical Reproduction Rights. Long story short, GEMA just blocks music and shows and shit like that, and it's just annoying. Ja, könnte wohl das letzte Mal sein, Herr Michael Kleve. Yeah, pretty much. That's what GEMA is. To be honest, I only speak 3 languages competently, and I can get by in a whole bunch of others. Ja, also ich würde lieber nicht über meine Ortschaft beziehungsweise meinen Bundesstaat reden, Herr Kleve. Sicherlich verstehst du warum, ne? Stagnation. 2 more days. 2 more days. Oh, until Fallout 4. Yeah, I'm gonna have to wait a little bit. BRICS group. I'm not familiar with that actually. Should I look that up? BRICS group. Oh, emerging economies. Okay. I don't really have an opinion on that. I'm not informed, so I don't like talking about things I don't know about, so I don't know about it. Yeah. Jag pratar lite svenska. Okay, Mr. Tiny Penis Guy. What the hell? You know, here's the thing about trolls like him that I don't get, and I guess I'll just keep on coming back. I mean, there's so many more interesting things to do. Français, French. There's so many more interesting things to do than just fucking repeatedly troll over and over and over and over again. So I can get by in a bunch of other languages. I mean, puedo un poquito Puedo hablar un poquito español, but I'm not very good at Spanish. I understand more than I can speak it, you know. And my Korean has gone totally down the fucking tube. Yeah, I know. I know you're Hungarian. Hello, fellow Magyar. Ja, ik kan een beetje Nederlands spreken, maar mijn Nederlands is niet zo goed als mijn Duits. I'm going to work on that though. Um, I never officially learned Swedish. What happened was years ago, I studied and lived in Iceland. So I studied Icelandic, and I'd also do a little bit of Norwegian. And so you just kind of pick up little bits and pieces, you know. It was mostly Icelandic though. Well, I do plan on improving my Dutch. It's my plan. You know. Actually, the next language I'm going to pursue with vigor probably will be cunt. Yeah, I say that all the time. It will be Dutch. I want to actually move to the Netherlands eventually in the next couple of years. That's the plan, at least. Ich habe das Thema schon angesprochen, Herr Kleve. Das war, gut, ich habe das nicht direkt angesprochen, aber kann ich mal wann anders besprechen. Icelandic is fucking difficult, but the reason why I was studying, I mean, here, if anyone's interested, I used to be very romantic. I don't mean, well, I do mean that too, flowers and poetry for women, but it was more the same thing that motivated me to read Goethe's Italian Journey and then visit all the places in Italy that he visited. Was the same thing that motivated me to yeah, you don't actually start breaking down your muscle until about 48 hours that's when you start tapping into the skeletal muscle to provide your body with glucose. But yeah, Icelandic I did because I was just sort of fascinated at the time with Norse culture, and basically Icelandic hasn't changed very much, so it's very sort of archaic. No, I don't. I didn't. Moving to Germany was just because I found a job here originally, so that's it. It's not I guess. I just like Dutch. Dutch just sounds fucking cool. Ik hou van de Nederlands taal. Dat is een erg mooie taal. Too much about the language to say. Yeah, language mostly. I just fucking yeah. So ja, das stimmt. Aber ja, ist ja nicht so schlimm. Why? Well, Icelandic basically is what we call a language outlier, isolate in the sense. Well, a language outlier is a technical term. The Icelandic people were stuck on the island for centuries, and so it did change, but it's not that much. Grammar is very similar, for example. Yeah, GEMA sucks. No, I don't think feminism. Well, it depends on what you have. It's relative. I don't think feminism was a particularly good thing when it started, though. I know that. J is back in the day. J was written with an IU. So you have the Latin verb, which I'll type here. To aid was written like this, bare, and in the medieval times it was written like this, or much later. Yeah. Hmm. No idea. Fuck if I know, man. People have been talking about an economic collapse in the for a long, long time. I don't know. It's one of my nationalities, Hungarian. I said I like Portuguese, but the only thing I can say is falo português. Falas português. Oh, that's nice. I don't speak it. Can read it reasonably well. I guess God, penis science. But here's the thing about the economic decline. I mean, I used to buy into basically um, the idea that yeah, the dollar is going to crash. You remember in 2008 when Peter Schiff was saying, "Oh well, the housing, blah 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 blah, it's all going to fucking crash." And I I have the feeling, I'm not an expert, but I have a feeling that these bankers can keep the thing going for decades, just with the money printing and everything. So I don't really think I don't know if they do, but yeah, but I just don't know. I mean, people have been predicting an economic collapse, a dollar collapse, a euro collapse. I mean, I think they figure out a system just keep it going for a while at least. You know, what is my raison d'être? My raison d'être. I don't really have one. Do you need to have a raison d'être? Hmm. I like doing certain things. I like learning about things. I like eating certain things. I like playing games. I mean, what is I used to beat myself up over the head about. I used to play Blizzard games, not anymore. About not essentially not having a raison d'être. What's your calling? Oh, I don't have a calling. It's what am I supposed to do? Exactly. Yeah, I think James Watson put it well. It doesn't bother me anymore. It hasn't for years. What do I think about Kyle Kulinski's secular talk? I think he's an SJW, basically, more or less. Slightly improved version. Why is the Netherlands? I'm bored of Germany. I'm bored of Germany. I'd like to leave. At the moment, I have a nice setup, so maybe in 2 or 3 years' time, if I have more money and things work out, I can move. But I just like Dutch language. That's it. No other reason. No, I'm still waiting. You arrived late, John Doe. Wednesday or Thursday, I should have the supercomputer. I like the way it sounds, Dutch. Mm. Oh, God. Yes, I'm still waiting for the CPU. Uh, see. Mm, so many questions. Hmm. All right. Well, you know what? The questions are kind of. I don't speak Latin. I can still read it decently. I never spoke it. Nobody ever spoke it. Well, 2,000 years ago they did, but true enough. I mean, you can't get cheaper computer parts in the States. Hmm. Um, I probably would say I'm more right-leaning on economic issues. Almost certainly. Yeah, Oz would be bad. I don't think we're going to see the same phenomenon of herbivore men in the West because herbivore men are just as much a product of Japanese culture as they are gynocentrism and other things. They're not coterminous. There's a different cultural and historical background to it all. A lot of like, this guy is so distracting. This penis guy. I don't know. I think there's certainly some MGTOW that are more kind of left leaning, but uh, I'm I guess I'm more right leaning depending on the issue. Yeah, it's always a new person. Anyway, I'm getting the distinct feeling that the conversation has basically run its course. Elder Scrolls, Elder Scrolls. Uh, I like um, I like Elder Scrolls more than Fallout. Let's see. So, man, questions are just way too massive. Um, as I said, I think this is kind of running so many questions and trolling and stuff. Anyway, so it was an interesting experiment. We're getting close to about 2 hours now. Oh, well, I can't let that question go from Greek. I'm pretty sure, Grief Texan, the next Fallout is going to be in the Somerset Isles, or they're going to combine. It'll be so big it'll combine something like Elsewhere and some other area, like the Black Marsh or whatever. So yeah, but the reason why I think Somerset Isles is because of the Thalmor and how their involvement and what have you, and there'll be islands, maybe there'll be underwater exploration and stuff, things like that. So yeah, I probably do need a moderator. Uh, anyway, I think yeah, I think that's a good way of it. Interesting experiment. I don't know if I'll do in the future, but Yeah. Yeah. Not really sure how to end it though. I presumably just go to what the oh, stop broadcast. That's how I do it. Fair enough. Pretty simple. Yeah. Well, yeah. Anyway, all right, everyone, take care. I'm gonna end the broadcast, or try to at least.